Alright, time to move on to learn about a different method. Community language learning. There are several aspects that we can take from this method, which was developed by Charles Arthur Curran, who was a Jesuit priest and also a psychology professor at Loyola University in Chicago. He was also a counseling specialist. People usually call this method CLL. Teachers who use it foster a lot of English communication in the classroom. Actually, they create a community environment in which students really get the opportunity to live and use the language. Before, teachers used this method by using students' mother tongue, but as you know, this is more like our last resource. So this is one adaptation that we can do on this method, not using students' mother tongue. There are a number of stages to this method. Let's have a look at them. In stage 1, students sit in a circle to create a community atmosphere. We, teachers, ask them to think, to brainstorm, and to have some initial comments about any topic. In stage 2, students get to share what they would like to say. In order for them to have clear ideas, they are allowed to share them in their mother tongue but in private. That means that teachers don't use students' mother tongue. Because once students know what they would like to say, the teacher gives them the language to express their ideas in English and also writes them up on the board. As you can see, in this stage, students focus on pace and fluency. Also, while they are doing that, they record what they want to say. Before, teachers would use tape recorders, but now we can benefit from students' cell phones as long as the school allows the use of these devices. In stage 3, students are asked to transcribe the conversation that they had. Also, they correct it in case they made any mistakes. This is for them to make sure that they have a clear idea on how to express their ideas. This focus is more on accuracy, as you can see. Last but not least, in stage 4, students analyze the language that they used. This is a nice sequence to end in analysis. Before, it was common to start our lessons with analysis. Now, as you can see, this can be the last step. Students benefit from this sequence too, as they have been in direct contact with the language and they feel more confident to analyze different language structures. If this is the last step, this means that students have gone through a detailed process, and for this reason, they are more involved and they will analyze better what they have in front. At what time am I going to do all of that? Well, this doesn't have to be done in just one class. These stages can take place in different moments and even different days. What do you think now? Do you think this method has any advantages and disadvantages? You can stop the video now for some seconds and think about it. Now, we'll tell you some advantages that probably you thought. This method can be helpful for students who are maybe struggling to speak. This means that this method can help middle and high school students to be more confident and to try out making mistakes in English so that they can improve. This method is helpful in low or initial levels because in them we are building and helping students build by themselves language to communicate. As you could see, classes become a real community. This definitely helps students to be more aware of their classmates' feelings, emotions, and actions that everybody needs to do to improve his or her level of English. With this method, it's easier to foster peer assessment in a polite and kind environment in which everybody can give each other a hand. All in all, When you use this method, students will interact more and will give active use to the language, because in this method, the target language is conceived as a vehicle of learning. As a challenge, students might feel a little awkward at the beginning when we first use this method. Other than that, let's just benefit from building a sense of community in the classroom by adapting this method and coming up with any strategies that you may know in order for students to feel that they belong to the same group, to the same community. Now, in one paragraph, tell us how would you adapt this sequence in a more creative way? And please, be very honest. Don't write anything that you wouldn't do with your own students.